What's going on, guys? This is Vince with vshred.com, and in today's video I'm not only going to answer whether you should have protein before or after your workout and how there really is no straightforward answer, but I'm also going to be answering 3 other very popular fitness questions while doing a little bit of cardio. All right, so like I said, in today's video, I'm gonna be answering 4 questions that you guys asked me on my Instagram. I do these Q&As. I've been doing them every Friday lately. I don't know how I'm gonna do them on Fridays forever, but as of right now, I'm answering questions that you guys ask me on Instagram. If you're not following me there yet, make sure you're going and following me. It's at VIN_Sant. Follow me there. I post to my story every now and then when I'm doing one of these and planning to answer it here on YouTube. So go follow me. Other than that, if you guys are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel because I'm posting videos all the time, minimum 3 times a week. So make sure you're not missing out on them. But I'm gonna get into the first question here. First up, got someone looking for advice to get out of the habit of eating bad food or sweets. And I believe the person actually asked more for young people, but I went ahead and opened it up to any age. If you're having troubles with getting rid of sweets, I mean, most people have a sweet tooth. I myself have a sweet tooth. I love candy, and it's hard sometimes, especially when you're first starting out. Like, I recently just came back from a 3-month break from the gym, and so I'm not as big and I'm not as defined as I usually am. And so when you're trying to cut out those sweets and you're not used to sticking to your diet 100%, or maybe you're not used to a diet at all, and now all of a sudden you're trying to cut out these sweet or salty foods that you love, and you're just trying to get out of these bad habits, it can be hard. And so what I always say is that if you're trying to make this big shift, it's always better, rather than going from a walk to a sprint or a dead stop to a sprint, it's better to go from a dead stop to a walk, to a jog, to a sprint. A lot of times if you try to go straight into that sprint, and that sprint is just a full-on diet and cutting out the foods completely, you're gonna end up falling off the wagon and you're gonna end up quitting because it's not really sustainable. You're not used to it. You haven't built the habits that you really need to take the time to build before you just jump into it like that. So if you're just now starting dieting, and well, first off, you need to know what kind of diet to follow. And I have a free body type quiz that tells you exactly what kind of diet is best for your goals. It's in the link down in the description below this video. Just fill out the quiz. It'll tell you what type of diet's best. But if you're going from not dieting, start by dieting a couple days a week, rather than going, I'm gonna start my diet tomorrow, or I'm gonna start my diet on Monday, and I'm gonna meal prep for the entire week, and I'm gonna eat nothing but my meals. Yeah, well, that might go okay for the first week, but then the second week, you're gonna be probably you're gonna be craving foods, and if you didn't have anything, you're gonna be not enjoying it very much. So rather than going all in right from the beginning, what I would recommend is taking maybe 3 days off a week. So 4 days a week, you're sticking to your diet. Then those other 3 days, you're a little more loose with your diet. And now that doesn't mean go and eat waffles for breakfast and, I don't know, Oreos for lunch and have just crap all day. But it does mean that you can be a little more flexible with the foods that you're eating those 3 days. That way you can teach yourself what it's like to eat good most of the time. So start out eating clean 4 days a week. And then those other 3 days, try to eat clean, but don't be so hard on yourself if you don't eat the cleanest foods ever. Then switch that to maybe 5 days a week you're eating clean. Then 6 days a week you're eating clean, and get it maybe down to just 1 cheat day a week. Personally, I have 1 cheat day a week, whether that's just a meal or a full day of cheating. It's just what I do for myself mentally. And so it's hard to get to 6 days of clean eating a week right off the bat, but if you can work your way there, it's gonna help you a lot in the long run. Next question, what is the carb fat protein ratio difference between high and low carb days? So this is actually referring to the carb cycling. Now we teach all about carb cycling in our body type quiz again, if you wanna check that out. But carb cycling is where you go between low, You can go moderate or high carb days, and then as a result, your fats are going to adversely change to how many carbs you're having. So carbs, fats, and proteins, there's not one percentage or ratio that I could say, this is what you do for low carb, this is what you do for high carb. It's gonna depend on how your body responds to it really. But I think the main things to keep in mind is that your protein is pretty much always gonna stay the same. You don't need to change your protein intake whether you're having low carbs or whether you're having high carbs. It's just gonna stay constant. But when you are going low carbs, what are you doing here? You're trying to deplete your glycogen stores. You're trying to teach your body how to use fat for energy. And so as a result, you still gotta so you're trying to use fat for energy, but you also still have to get those calories in your body. You don't just wanna cut out carbs and just not get those calories any other way. So what you're gonna do is you're going to bump up your fats so that you still get those calories in, and again, teach your body to use those fats for energy. Other way around, if you're going high carbs, you don't wanna have a ton of calories. So you don't wanna go the same number of fats and go high carbs because you're gonna be way over your calorie, whatever your calorie goal is. So when you're going high carbs, you're gonna be using that to boost the hormone leptin in your body, help you with your metabolism, maybe help you with your lifts to maybe fill your muscles with glycogen and lift heavier in the gym, get a better workout. But when you're doing that, you also need to drop your fats. That way you're not in this massive surplus, because fats are also obviously higher in calorie, like the caloric density of fats is over twice as much as carbs. So when you go higher carbs, you gotta go lower fats. A beginner ratio, I would say low carb, probably you can either go no carb here and just whatever your fats are, make that. And then protein, I always like to stay around 25 to 30% protein calories. That's what I like to stay around all the time. And then you can go low carb, you can go 10 to 15% carbs, and then the rest of it's fats. And then when you go high carbs, maybe go with 60%. That's gonna be pretty high. For some, that might be too high. For me, I'm naturally more skinny, so I'm gonna be easily going 60% carbs on high carb day. You can bump that down to 55, you can bump that down to 50. But like I said, these are just starting numbers, and it's always best to change things around and see what works best for your body. So this is the question that was actually the title named after. Should you have protein before or after your workout? Now, like I said, there's not a straightforward answer here. And the reason there's not a straightforward answer is because it doesn't really matter. Because you don't need to be having protein at specific times throughout the day. As long as you're getting your protein intake by the end of the day, you're going to be fine. Now, with that being said, the reason that I do like breaking my protein up into 4 or 5 meals and having more at certain times is because, let's say I'm trying to get 180 grams of protein by the end of the day. If I go, okay, I didn't have much protein for breakfast, I had a little bit for lunch, didn't have much for the meal after that, now I have like 100 grams of protein that I have to get in dinner. That's going to be a lot of protein. It's gonna be very difficult to get that. So I like to break it up and have more at certain times. Now, should you have it before or after your workout? Again, doesn't really matter. If you're gonna have it before, just make sure you're giving your body enough time to digest it before you go to the gym, because you don't want your body to be using a bunch of your energy to digest food. You wanna be giving all your energy to your workout. And then after your workout, always gonna be an amazing time to eat protein, just to allow your body to use those calories to replenish your body, to help you start building muscle. So before or after doesn't really matter. Just if you're going before, let the food digest a little bit, and just make sure you're hitting your protein intake by the end of the day. And last question, what is the best workout for guys with man boobs? Now, this is tough because there's not really a workout that you can do to get rid of man boobs. Man boobs is typically it either is going to require surgery to get rid of it, or you're just gonna have to focus on lowering your overall body fat percentage. I know that sucks hearing, but that's the truth. There's no such thing as spot reduction with training. And so if you're going to the gym and you're trying to get rid of, maybe you got some man boobs, don't just go and do a bunch of chest exercises and expect that to cut down on the fat in your boobs. It's not gonna happen. Just stick to your training, your overall training, stick to your diet, make sure you're doing your cardio, make sure you're in a deficit and losing weight. If that's what you're trying to do, make sure that you are just burning fat. You're eating the right kinds of foods that are going to help your body lean out. Make sure you're doing the right kind of training to work multiple different muscle groups to help with caloric expenditure, to help with building muscle, which is gonna help your metabolism. focus on the basics of what training and dieting does. That way you can build more lean muscle. It's gonna help you burn body fat, and it's gonna help you become more lean. And as a result, you're gonna be cutting down fat in all areas of your body, and that will also include man boobs. So there's not like a specific exercise. I know that sucks to hear, but it's just the truth. So yeah, that's the Q&A, guys. Wanted to make this, I know it wasn't as short as I wanted to do, but I hope this answers some of your questions. If you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you're subscribing. If you have any questions you might want me to answer in another Q&A, leave them in the comment section down below. But other than that, thank you for watching. I'm gonna finish this cardio. I'll see you in the next one.